Hey, how's it going? Today, we're on to the second exotic sidearm ever released in Destiny 2, Devil's Ruin, which joined the ranks 2 years after Rat King, but it was well worth the wait as it is a really cool and really powerful weapon in the right hands. It's quite a versatile exotic thanks to its 2 exotic perks, Close the Gap and Pyrogenesis. Unfortunately, Devil's Ruin still lacks a masterwork, but hopefully Bungie will rectify this mistake in the future. Close the Gap allows this weapon to charge up a high damage laser that can stun unstoppable champions, and Pyrogenesis refills the magazine when the laser is fully charged. This essentially is just so the weapon always fires the same duration laser, as it'll chew your entire magazine when fired. But what this allows the player to do is charge the exact same laser whether you're at a full magazine or a one shot remaining, which makes it a pretty good weapon for 2v1s. Onto a few stats. Devil's Ruin is a 300 RPM sidearm that has 64 range, 68 stability, 45 handling, 24 reload, 56 aim assist, and 15 in the mag. But it has an added stat because it can fire a laser beam and has a charge time of 1000 milliseconds, or 1 second if you prefer. You definitely should remember your sidearm loader for this weapon since you'll be reloading a lot, especially if you're using the beam, and you really don't want to be dealing with that 24 reload. And yeah, the charge shot is a beam, so you can hit through a deflection arc strider's block for a lot of damage. And damage is where this weapon absolutely kills it. 51 for a crit and 37 for a body with the regular sidearm shots. 4 crit kill in 0.6 seconds. Quite fast. But that's not why you're using the gun, is it? You want to laser some kids, don't you? The laser deals 25 damage to the body and 33 to the head, but hits really rapidly, so players just drop if you catch them with it. But that's kind of an acquired skill. You sort of have to think of it as a fusion rifle trace rifle crossover. Putting some effort into learning to pre-charge will pay out in easy kills at a pretty impressive range for a sidearm. Something much less easy to get used to is the strange standard fire for this weapon. Every single other semi-auto weapon in the game fires on a trigger pull, but because of the unique firing kind of alt-fire thing, Devil's Ruin fires on trigger release. Like I said, it feels a bit strange, but you get used to it. And because of this firing on trigger release interaction, you can cancel a charge, as long as you haven't started firing it, by just releasing the trigger, and it'll only use one shot. So I've run Devil's Ruin with a few exotics: Dragon Shadow, Battle Harmony, Ophidian Aspect, Atheris's Embrace, OEM, just to name the big ones. Unfortunately, I couldn't use trick sleeves while recording for this as it's currently disabled, but believe me when I say it's good for every sidearm. Free handling, free reload speed, what have you got to lose? Most of my gameplay in this one though was recorded using Ophidian Aspect with Sidearm loader just to double down on the reload speed, show off the beam as much as I can. Of all weapons to pair, a sniper is probably the obvious choice, but you can go with anything other than a fusion or bow really. You generally don't want to be running 2 weapons that need to charge in a PvP environment. Last point, sidearms have 2 charged with light mods for themselves. The first, Swift Charge, allows you to become charged with light after getting a double kill with a sidearm, SMG or pulse rifle. And the other, Surprise Attack, grants 5 shots of increased damage to a sidearm that's drawn or reloaded per stack of charged with light. So, 1 stack, pull out a sidearm, 5 shots, 2 stacks, 10 shots, you get it. You can make this work with a bit of brain power, but you could also just run high energy fire for a 20% increase to all weapon damage until you get a kill. Not saying you could, or not saying it's too hard or you couldn't make it work with Surprise Attack, but I think it's just easier to run high energy fire. Saves you needing to change up your mods and have a void piece of armor anywhere. That should be just about everything to say about Devil's Ruin. I'd say you should pick it up from the exotic kiosk if you don't have it. Try it out for yourself. It's a good bit of fun. I'll see you in the next one.